What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today's part, I just want to say, if you take a look at this analytics stat bar right here, you'll notice that 62.5% of you that watch my content aren't subscribed. So if you could do me a favor and just hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe, that'll really help the channel get to a bigger audience. But with all that being said, let's get into the final parts of What If Ash Was Born in Unova, Season 2, Part 11. I hope you enjoy. Round 1. Fight! Today, we are greeted by a very special event, one that Ash has waited for over a year, the start of the Pokemon League competition. This is the opening ceremony, where we see everyone we've met over the course of the last year. Ash, Benga, Hugh, even Brody, the rotation battle expert. Ash is looking around. The competition seems stiff, he thinks to himself, but he and his partner, the blind-born Riolu, won't back down. They fought through hardship after hardship to get here. They will be victorious on this final leg of their journey. Unfortunately, Ash can't daydream his thoughts of victory due to the person standing next to him, a girl that we haven't seen in a long while, Georgia, the Dragon Buster. She is mumbling to herself, and Ash can only hear parts of it. But one thing is certain, she seems to have a problem with someone on stage. As Ash looks to see Iris and the president of the Pokemon League make the opening announcements. As Iris speaks, Ash thinks that she sounds way different than she normally does. More presentable, calm, not confident. This is a new side that he's never really seen from her before, but he likes it. Then, the president makes an announcement that everyone has been waiting to hear. The start of the competition. This year, what better way to start things off than an expedition match against the champion herself, Iris. To this, the crowd erupts. We will be picking one trainer at random from this year's competition to have a one-on-one match. So listen for your name to be called. Ash watches as every trainer around him starts to foam at the mouth with his rare opportunity. Ash doesn't see this as a big deal, however, thinking because he gets to battle Iris on a regular basis. So it's something he's already done. Then the attention of everyone is called to the front when the screen lights up and a picture of every contestant begins to flash at rapid pace. There are two people here that want this battle. Benga for his obsession with humiliating Iris, and Georgia because a Dragon Master should use only dragon types, as she puts it. As the randomizer begins to slow, everyone gets silent in anticipation of the choice. Then the choice is made, and this obsessive girl next to Ash rages in excitement. Georgia has been selected for the exhibition match. Iris looks at the choice and smiles. This rematch is something she wants. After the last time her and Georgia battled, she's looking for a little payback. The crowd on the battlefield begins to disperse in preparation for the exhibition that is in 30 minutes. During this time, Ash has the chance to meet up with Hugh. I didn't think you would be here, Ash comments. I almost wasn't, he remarks. I only had 5 badges up till about 2 months ago, but I was able to get through the data that Team Plasma had stored in Driftvale. Did you find anything of use, Ash inquires. I did. Team Plasma has a plan called Unify. Most of the data was corrupt, but there's one thing that me and Rude were able to make out. It involves a Pokemon called Kyurem. Apparently it was once one with the dragons Zekrom and Reshiram. Well, bad news, Ash says. Team Plasma has Zekrom. What? Hugh yells, catching the attention of all those in the area. How? Ash then tells Hugh everything about what's been happening since the last time they met. Hugh isn't happy. It seems like they're getting closer to their goal, he says. Ash agrees, but there's not really anything they can do about it until they reappear. Then Ash asks Hugh if he found the info that he was looking for. Hugh confirms he did, but there's a problem. The one who has his purloined is a member of the Shadow Triad. Well, That's bad news, a voice slinks from across the way. Turning, Ash's eyes widen with a sense of fear as Riolu takes a defensive stance, suggesting it's going to go on the attack. Chorus, what are you doing here? Oh, me? I'm actually a participant in this event. Participant? What? How could you get in? Well, I did just like you, Ash. I won 8 badges, as Colress flashes his badge case. So, it looks like we're going to be rivals. As Colress continues to engage with Ash and Riolu, Hugh spots an Officer Jenny. He runs over to retrieve her, dragging her back, explaining that this man is part of Team Plasma. Looking Colress up and down, Officer Jenny begins to question him. Ash and Hugh feel a brief sense of relief wash over them as the two talk in private. Then, Officer Jenny walks away, leaving both boys' jaws on the floor. Colress walks back to his 2 juniors. Good try, but I'm not here for Team Plasma. I'm here for me. Wait, what? Ash questions? Then why are you here? Riolu is on edge, sliding a foot forward, inching closer to attack. This is stopped by the next words Culver says. It's because of you two, referring to Ash and Riolu. You know, when Riolu was in its egg, I never dreamed it would progress in this way. Now, you are a pure curiosity to me, and I must know more. Culrus then turns to walk away. Hey, wait, what do you mean about its egg? What do you know, Culrus? The lab-coated man stops, only to say, if we meet in battle here, and you beat me, I will answer any question you have. But only then, before walking off, leaving Ash and Hugh to stare in bewilderment. You're getting too close, Culrus hears in his earpiece. Well, now the attention of everyone who matters is on me, he says. Now you 3 can proceed through the rounds like we planned. Now, Necrosis, do as Master Getsus orders you to do. I am here of my own free will. The communication then cuts on Culver's side. Damn this guy, he risks everything for his own selfish goals, Andriel says. Why does Master Getsus put up with him? Because he has held up his end of the bargain until now. Eclipse chips in over the line. We must do as we're told. Master Getsus says he will be arriving with the final piece of the puzzle of his master plan. We just need to buy time. Well, just make sure you don't lose, Necrosis says. Now end all communications until the master arrives, as the comms die. Now we shift to the exhibition battle. Iris and Georgia have banter back and forth about their past encounter. Georgia hopes Iris has an actual dragon type that she can fight this time. Iris confidently smiles. While this is going on, in the background, you can see Ash and Hugh running to the battlefield. They need to get to Iris, but it's blocked by a bunch of officers from the local Nimbasa PD. Ash and Hugh then plead their case, but the officers just ignore the two. So Ash takes the only action he can, yelling at the top of his lungs. Unfortunately, this is in vain, because before the battle starts, the debut of an old friend, Roxy, goes live. Her music is incredible, but it couldn't have come at a worse time. It drowns out the pleas of Ash and Hugh as the crowd screams in excitement. Meanwhile, a certain Galarian rocker watches on from the private viewing boxes above. Roxy's performance isn't long, but it amps up the crowd to 11. With the Pokemon League being held in Mombasa City this year, even the gym leader, Elisa, was able to join in. She is glad she did, as the recommendation for Roxy to play here was one that she was proud of. The music fades out as the crowd chants, "Encore, encore." The announcer then busts the mic, asking everyone to quiet down as they introduce the combatants for the exhibition match. In the left corner, the current reigning and undefeated champion of Unova, Iris. And on the right, Georgia, one of the challengers of the Victory Road tournament, and self-proclaimed Dragon Buster. You two will be allowed 1 Pokemon each. Now, let's start this battle. Iris is a little overconfident. The last time her and Georgia battled, she didn't have the Pokemon that she needed to battle, but now she has some of her championship team, and she knows just who to go with. But Georgia doesn't give her the chance to make the first move, eagerly sending out her Beartic. However, this doesn't affect Iris, as taunts can be heard from Georgia. With a breath of confidence, she declares, "Excadrill, I choose you." The Iron Mole takes to the field, but something is strange. Excadrill is wrapped in its drill form. Iris calls to it, but nothing. The judge then calls for the start of the round, but still nothing. Georgia at this point now begins a string of insults about Iris's inability to control her Pokemon. Iris, a little flustered, begins to plead with Excadrill, yet still, the mole won't move. Knowing she's got a free win, Georgia sends her Arctic Bear in for the attack. It hits with Brick Break, Icicle Cratch, anything that it can, just striking its opponent without relent. Iris, now panicking, wonder what's going on, why it won't respond. Things are dire. If this keeps up, Iris and Excadrill will lose. Over with Ash and Hugh, things aren't much better. Ash has stopped his panic to watch what's happening out of curiosity. However, Hugh is still trying to get someone to listen to him when a voice silently whispers, "Don't worry, we're on it." Hugh then looks around, but he can't tell where it came from or what that meant. Is there someone already aware of Culver's? Back with Iris, things are on a rapid decline. Excadrill won't respond, and she's at the point of forfeiting to end this humiliation. As Georgia taunts Iris from her end of the field, Iris is ready to signal the end, but Excadrill, without warning, emerges from its defensive state. With no command from its trainer, it attacks with Metal Claw after Metal Claw, which is unguarded, bombarding the the Baratic. Georgia is unable to respond in time, as before she knows it, Excadrill drill runs Baratic into the stadium wall, ending the battle. The ref calls this in Iris's favor, as she looks on while Excadrill returns to its defensive state. Georgia, infuriated, yells that Iris just got lucky, but she still doesn't have enough dragons to be a Dragon Master. Then she walks off. Iris recalls Excadrill in full confusion about what just transpired. The rest of the day goes off with little to no problems. Ash tries to talk up to Iris about Culver's, but with the problems of Excadrill and her responsibilities as champion, he is unable to talk with his friend. Hugh tells Ash about the strange warning he got, but Ash writes that off. Hugh was just hearing things. The tournament is now in full swing. Hugh, Benga, Culver's, and Ash, as well as the Hidden Shadow Triad, must all win on 4 different battlefields in order to earn the right to battle in the main stadium in the top 16. Fortunately, day 1 is very successful. Benga and Statland dominate their battle. Hugh and Embor roast their competition, while Culver's and the Triad make their way through with revealing little about their strategies. Then it comes to Ash. He is on the water field. Now, while he was able to swap his Pokemon and change Croagunk for Palpitoad, he kind of forgot about Levani due to the confusion of the day. This is where we meet Ash's first opponent as they enter the battlefield, a young trainer named Mikkel. He seems a little on edge, telling Ash he's nothing and his Pokemon won't lose here. Normally, Ash would be bothered by this comment, but the events of this morning has divided his attention. Mikkel and Ash square off as the ref signals the start of their 3-on-3 match. They are on the water field, but Mikkel chooses to lead with a Watchog. You know, Ash, you're somewhat of the talk of the trainers in the preliminaries. This does catch Ash's attention. Asking Mikkel what he means. Well, the rumor is that you're the apprentice of the champion, so you're the odds-on favorite to win. This is news to Ash. He wonders about it, but is unfazed. He doesn't have time for trivial things like that right now, but Mikkel refuses to let it go. Ash just wants to start the battle, so he sends in Palpitoad. This was actually on pure instinct, with Ash's attention still somewhat divided. Palpitoad is raring to go, finally being able to battle after so long of being at the ranch. Mikkel refuses to wait on Ash, ordering his Watchog to use a Super Fang. Ash does respond, but it's slow, and Palpitoad ends up taking the attack. This manages to snap Ash out of his funk temporarily, as he realizes he can't ignore this battle. The past year has led to this. Without hesitation, he orders Palpitoad to use Bubble Beam. Palpitoad fires at point blank at Watchog, one-shotting the Ronit, to the shock of both Ash and Mikkel. To compound the shock factor, something unexpected happens. Due to the battle, Palpitoad begins to glow with an evolutionary light. Ash watches as his Toad evolves. From the light, Seismitoad emerges with the battle-ready cry. While this event is unforeseen, Mikkel is unfazed, sending in his second Pokemon, something that should make this battle a sure win. Levani, go! Though Mikkel thinks this is an advantage, it's actually not, due to Ash being extremely familiar with this Pokemon. But there's something else that happens. Ash's Pokedex activates. Seismitoad learned a new move upon evolution. Hidden power, Ash questions. What's that? Well, Ash doesn't have to wait to find out, as he chooses to keep in his new Mon. Mikkel takes advantage of this to full effect, ordering a Leaf Blade. Ash, wanting to test out this new move, calls for it. Seismitoad begins to glow with a red-like energy. Then, fire erupts from its epicenter. Levani is too close at this point to dodge and is enveloped in the flames. Once the flames subside, Levani is declared unfit to battle. Mikkel is now finally on edge, while Ash is kind of in awe. Did we just win with one move? Again? Mikkel wants to take control of this, so he sends in his final Pokemon, Swoobat, hoping that taken to the air will give him the edge needed. At this point, Ash sees no reason to change out Seismitoad, so the battle starts. But now the movement abilities of Ash's hulking Toad come into play when he orders it to jump up. The advantage that Mikkel thought he had quickly comes crashing down when he realizes the height that Seismitoad can reach. He tries to block it with a Heart Stamp, but Ash orders a Mud Shot to cancel out the attack, followed with grabbing the bat. Now unable to move, Mikkel is at the mercy of Ash and his Pokemon. With one final command, Ash ends this ballad with the Hydro Pump, closing out the first round of the tournament. Ash can't believe it. The evolution, the clean sweep, what was this luck? But his good move and celebration is quickly rained on when Mikkel tells Ash he got lucky. If that evolution didn't happen, then he would have lost. Ash shrugs this off, but then a sobering reminder of the looming threat of Team Plasma sinks down on Ash when he looks up to see Culver's looking down at him. The two have a stare down before Culver's rocks off. But he doesn't get far when he's confronted with Benga. So, if you're here, that means your lackeys are here too, he snarks. Culver's just brushes this off, attempting to walk away, but Benga Benga hits a soft spot when he starts talking about the experiments that got away and how he's glad that he was able to ruin his plans. Culrus stops, turns, and says one thing to Benga. My boy, you're about as intimidating as a Lillipup. The only real threat here to me or Team Plasma is the one who just won the last match, and maybe the champion. You should run home to Grandpa before you get too far in over your head. Then he just walks away. This enrages Benga, not only because he was just told he's not a threat, but compared to Ash in the same sentence as well. Benga then looks out at the field as Ash walks off, both with a renewed sense of purpose. The next few days go by very smoothly. Benga, Ash, and Hugh all win their way past the second round, with Culrus and his cohorts doing the same. But by day 3, the competition is heating up. Hugh barely manages to win his round, being paired against Brody, the rotation battle expert, while Ash wins his round with a surprise come-from-behind victory with Electric. Its discharge played an important role in the final move, being able to hit a well-hidden Gothitelle who was using double team. Then it comes Benga. He's gotten matched up with the one opponent that he's been seeking since his loss back in that forest a few months ago. Benga can immediately sense that this person standing before him is the same one he's been wanting payback for, the one he's been training for. Without hesitation, Benga calls him out. Hey you, you're one of the Shadow Triad, aren't you? The man stands silent at first, leaving Benga to become agitated, calling this trainer out once more. With one phrase, he mutters, so what if I am? And that, my friends, is where we're going to leave today's story. And that's all we have for part 11 of What If Ash Was Born in Unova Season 2. How'd you guys feel about this one? I know it's a little shorter than the usual parts, but things are starting to move forward. We're only about 3 parts out from the end of this series, and I want to make sure I do it justice with pacing. Did you like Ash's battle and the fact that his Palpitoad evolved? How do you feel about Culrus being part of the tournament? And what do you think is Ghetsis' ultimate plan? Let me know in the comments down below. And with all that being said, it's time to sign out the video the best way we know how, to thank the patrons. Silverheart Soul, Robert, Vegito Gaming 78, Andrew McCartney, Holosiv, Julian Rodriguez, Ruben Watson, Lord Explosion Murder, Assassin 139, Flyer 943, Shadow Dragon, Tavern Landlord, K McKnight, Drax, True Volt, Dino King, Dalen Silva, Fox King, Dalion Petit, Warren E. Taylor, Plus Ultraman, Mega, Mike Logan, Team Valor, Kendall Green, and Earth Dragon. Thank you all very much for your support, and I will see you in the next video.